What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Full Court Talk podcast. And, of course, got my guy CJ, and Myles is back again.
What's going on, everyone?
So, we have a lot to talk about because a lot has happened over the past week. So, just go over the topics real quick. LeBron signs a deal through 2023. Really good for you guys. Huge kind of surprise right there. But AD signs a 5-year max. And then the Christmas Day and opening night games were released, so some of those are actually pretty good games. Then the topic number 4, what do you guys think about the Clippers and their drama again? Topic 5, LiAngelo Ball heading to Detroit, gets on the NBA roster. And the final one, this was a huge shock to, I guess, a lot of NBA fans. Russell Westbrook gets traded for John Wall and a first-round pick to the Wizards. So we'll talk about that one. But I'll let you guys start off with talking about LeBron. What do you guys think about this?
Go ahead, Myles.
I don't think anyone saw this coming. I don't know if you did, CJ, but I think this is the first time LeBron's ever done an extension like this in his career, other than his rookie extension in Cleveland. I mean, he is getting up there in age, so of course, good on him for securing the most years and money he can. Especially with the rule change Chris Paul made, where he can make max dollars until he's 38 instead of 36. And the fact that he has the confidence in the organization to commit like that, I think it speaks volumes of if two sides are working towards the same goal and like have a good enough relationship to trust each other like that, and then great things can happen. So shout out to both the Lakers and LeBron. Clutch.
Yeah. No, honestly, like what you said, it's just for me personally, since watching NBA, like that's the first time I've seen LeBron since his rookie contract, like sign an extension for that much. And personally, like it's a good move for him because like what Spence said, he'll be 38 at the end of it, and I feel like he secured the best position for himself. And like one of the things like I want to highlight is just he does have confidence in the Lakers, and Pelinka, like he's just made tremendous move after move. And so that's just a testament of what he brought to the Lake Show. And also, like, I want to say, like, by the time that his contract is just just about done, like Bronny will be entering the NBA. And so, like, I don't know where we're gonna be at in terms of how good we are back then, or back when we get there. But it's just, I feel like with Bronny entering the NBA, there's a good chance the Lakers might get him some way, somehow. He wants to be that first father son duo in the NBA to actually play together. And that's very likely. Although he is getting up there in age, but it's just a good move for both sides. We know what LeBron can do, and Pelinka, it's just great job for locking him in.
Yeah, I mean, like you guys said, like this came out of nowhere. I didn't even think he was up for an extension at the time, but it's a great move. Getting the best basketball player that we've honestly ever seen, getting him locked up, and they showed him this offseason that they're going to continue to make the right moves. As long as they're in contention, they're going to get free agents. They're going to get people to sign with them. We've seen this. And just a huge shout out to Pelinka for continuing this kind of dominant offseason. And like you said, like Bronny is a real chance to play with his dad, which is insane. And I think that's going to, like, if Bronny isn't the consensus number 1 overall pick, the chance of having LeBron on your team will push him into that number 1 conversation. Because whoever gets Bronny will get LeBron. So, looking at OKC.
Yeah.
Real quick, if you were Bronny, would you want to play with your dad like that? Because imagine him, he's a hot kid coming out of whatever, coming into the NBA. He's like, all right, I'm gonna live my life, no parents, mess around a little bit.
I don't know, because like from a business standpoint, it doesn't get any better than that. But from like a play standpoint, it could be tough because you've never played competitively with your dad before. It might be a little weird, I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, no, honestly, that's right. Like Myles said, coming out of college or whatever path that he takes, um, I would want, or I would probably assume that he's going to want to take his own path. Who wouldn't want to be by themselves? You're getting your own contract, you get to live your life away from your parents and all that stuff. But at the same time, like me personally, like if I had a chance to play with my dad, like I would relish that. You know what I mean? Um, and it'd be so dope to see. Can you imagine like LeBron throwing him a lob in an actual
Yeah.
NBA game? You know what I mean? But like the narratives are just gonna be crazy. Like when they get there, you know what I mean? And like we know what Bron can do in terms of taking care of his body. He spends millions of dollars. You know what I mean? So I have all the belief in the world that he'll be straight. Like once Bronny's able to enter the league. But like you said, Spence, from a business standpoint, any team that gets Bronny can get LeBron, and it's just gonna pull in ticket sales like crazy.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
The storylines are gonna be crazy. But yeah, like personally for me, like I would love to play with my dad, but with what we saw this offseason and what happened with Bronny, I don't know. Maybe he'd want to stay away from his dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I mean, like, so if he is in the 2023 draft, he'd have to come out of high school. And I'm pretty sure they're like moving in that direction to allow high schoolers again, especially with them already skipping college as it is. So I'm pretty sure that it's going to happen eventually. So we'll see. I think that's the biggest storyline to me is LeBron could play with his own son, which is insane because Bronny is ridiculously good for his age. But more Laker news. Anthony Davis signs a 5-year max. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Go ahead, CJ.
Oh, well, you know what? There was a lot of like talk coming into that decision. I had a friend who's also a Lakers fan who was sending me like a lot of tweets that were related to Anthony Davis's decision. And like, I've heard things where he wanted to wait and see because, we wanted to be in play for Giannis, this and all that. But, that just goes to show like him signing the 5 years. It's just we're going all in, on Bron and AD, with their contracts. But I mean, I'm glad, he's one of the 4 Lakers to secure an amount that big. You know what I mean? And it's well deserved. It's just now it's just going to be a matter of staying healthy for AD. You know what I mean? Because we know that he can be injury prone. We've seen that in the past with the Pelicans. But I'm just really glad, that the Lakers were able to secure him because, for a little bit, like it was like they were stalling. You know what I mean? But I mean, I get it. Business is business. Rich Paul probably had to do what's best for his client, and it makes sense. But it's just the fact that it took quite some time. I got kind of scared, man. I knew he was coming back, but I didn't know what type of contract that he was signing. And like I said, it's just for him to sign that 5 years as opposed to that 2 years. I think it's better because obviously the Lakers are all in on AD being the future. So good choice by Pelinka.
It caught me by surprise because of the 3 options on the table. I thought the 5-year extension or the 5-year contract was the last option. First, I thought he would take the 2+1, which would let him hit the 10-year threshold and make even more money. Or the 1+1 to see what LeBron's gonna do, or if they both want to leave the Lakers or whatever. But the fact that like it's like hand in hand. Like LeBron extended and then AD signed for the max 5 years. Just the amount of confidence and buy-in they have with the Lakers, it's a big salute to Genie Bus, to Rob, to the Rambuses. I just call them Ramby. Yeah, it's been a while since the Lakers have been such a dominant and respectable franchise, and I can't complain. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, I really thought he was going to sign a 1-on-1. I'm so used to that as like seeing what KD did and seeing what LeBron did back when he was with the Heat. They signed 1-on-1s. Even when LeBron was on Cleveland, he signed 1-on-1s. And that's usually give yourself flexibility and give himself some power, I guess. But salute to AD. He's taking care of himself, first of all. Like CJ said, he's not the most durable guy. So this gives him a bit of kind of his own security. But when AD is healthy, he is the best and most skilled big man in the game. There's no question. And I think this is going to be good for him, and I'm hoping that a shorter season helps him. But with what I see since CJ, they're still having the no sitting out big games, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. I don't understand why they're doing this, but
what was it, Spence? 10,000?
100K.
100K, Myles, per player.
If you sit out.
Interesting. I actually didn't know about that.
Yeah.
I think their pockets are deep enough.
Yeah.
That's just me.
I mean, there's also a report that Bleacher Report came out with earlier today. They said that every team is proposed $30 million to make up for the losses that they're gonna take because of the pandemic, obviously, and that's just insane. I was telling Spencer earlier, like, if you're gonna rest some players, you might as well report injuries that happen at practice. Injuries.
Yeah. I guarantee there's going to be a lot of injuries fake this season. I don't think there are going to be a lot of real ones.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It makes
sense.
Yeah.
But opening night is just around the corner. We have what? We have 6 days till the first preseason game.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think about opening night and the Christmas Day games? I'm extremely excited, though.
I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead, bro. I have a whole list right here.
I mean, it sucks that Clay obviously isn't gonna play, but I've been wanting to see the Durant's return versus the Warriors.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how Steph and Kevin like exchange pleasantries, if at all, or even Draymond, honestly. And then just to see what the Nets look like, how KD looks, if he's 80%, 90%, 100%. And honestly, the Warriors too, because they like essentially KD and the Warriors were out of commission last year. It's been a minute since we've seen them on the court. So just having all those guys back will be great. And then obviously you have the Clippers watching the Lakers get their rings. You can't write this stuff any better.
Yeah, I mean, bro, for opening night, like, honestly, like, I'm definitely more interested in watching that Warriors Nets game than the Lakers and the Clippers game, because I already know what both teams bring to the table for the Lakers and the Clippers. You know what I mean? And like, the only highlight that I want, win or lose, like, I'm just glad to see the Clippers witness ring ceremony night, bro. That's just, it's gold, and honestly, like, the Warriors and Nets, like Myles said, like, it's just a shame how Clay couldn't play. You know what I mean? Because of the injuries. And so I'm really interested to see what KD does and the dynamic that him and Kyrie have, because, practice, preseason, that's all different. When it comes to the real thing, you know what I mean? And I just wish, fans were able to watch, because, the emotion of that game would be like, the atmosphere would just be crazy. And I really wish, and like I said, fans could be there. But that's going to be a good game. Honestly, I'm more excited for that than the Lakers game. And in terms of like Christmas Day games, like, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw my tweet. I'm pretty sure you guys have. It's just, the matchups are just weird, man. Like, some of the matchups, I get it. I guess the Lakers playing the Mavericks, I mean, they did play one of the best games of the season last year. So, I mean, I understand. But, like, I mean, Pelicans and Heat, like, the NBA is really pushing for Zion. I love that because, my Duke guy. But I feel like the Christmas Day matchup should have been Lakers and Heat, rematch of the finals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, each game playing, like, they're all, like, don't get me wrong, they're all, like, very interesting, like, all the way down to, like, the early ones, which is actually, the Pelicans and the Heat. But I think, Celtics and Nets are going to be interesting, that right there. Warriors and the Bucks, so I'm excited. We're spoiled. It's a shame that, the NBA is coming back early for the players, because, they don't have that much of a turnaround, especially for those teams in the playoffs / the finals. But, we're going to be spoiled, starting, in 6 days. So very excited.
Yeah, obviously I'm like super excited for the Warrior game. I mean, I finally get to see like the new look Warriors. I'm not sure what's happening with Wiseman because I heard there was 2 people that got COVID, and Wiseman has been one of the people that hasn't been shown in any of the pictures. So it kind of makes me think something happened, but they haven't said anything. But nonetheless, I'm super excited. I mean, I haven't seen Steph play since that Toronto game where he went off.
Yeah.
And that was still like he played 5 games last season. I haven't seen Steph play in a while, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. But that Clippers Lakers game, like I think the NBA is planning for that game to be like the headline, but the Clippers kind of screwed it up by being bad last season, so it kind of lost a lot of the heat. But still, I love that the Lakers are gonna get their rings in front of the Clippers, man. I love it.
Yeah.
But, so I think the Christmas games are a little weird because of the travel. Because I think you can't travel a certain distance with COVID. So they're doing – that's why you see the weird matchups like the Warriors-Bucks. And then a lot of these like Mavs-Lakers, Clippers-Nuggets I love. I think that's going to be a great game. It's a rematch. And I think – hoping the Nuggets have the Clippers down 0-2. But the Pelicans Heat, like – I think coming in, I really like Zion, but like the way the NBA is pushing him is kind of annoying to me because it's like he hasn't proven anything, but they're giving him a lot of the star treatment already, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of weird, but still the Heat and the Pelicans should be a good game because those are 2 young teams to battle it out. I'm excited for that one. But, you know, Warriors-Bucks – not feeling it just because it's kind of a weird matchup. I think it's more about the Giannis rumors, if anything.
Yeah.
That's my guess. But, you know.
I was going to say, we need some extra, like, private investigators at that game just to make sure everything's all good, you know.
I think it's cool. You know, I think Steph and Giannis, they'll have their pleasantries. You know, it'll be great. But Nets Celtics, I think it's a good game. Those are considerably 2 of the top East teams. So I'm excited to see that one. I'm excited to finally see KD come back, though. It has been way too long without him. But what do you think about the Christmas Day games, Myles?
Yeah, like the matchups were weird to me because I thought, okay, you know, it's COVID, so you can't travel that far. But then you turn around and do Warriors at Bucks, and then I'm like, why? If they have that, why can't we just do the normal like NBA Finals run back of Lakers and Heat? And then like I get like you guys said it, showcasing young talent, especially in Zion where he hasn't – I mean he's had flashy moments last year, but I would like to see more of the Hawks and Trae Young. I would like to see more of the Grizzlies and Ja Morant, who actually won Rookie of the Year last year. Maybe not on Christmas obviously, but it was just kind of weird. I'm not going to complain again because at least we have basketball back.
Yeah.
But I am looking most forward to the Clippers and Nuggets one just to see how both teams react after last year.
Yeah, I think there's a ton to like about the new season. And I'm just excited to see like how everything pans out. Because this is going to be one of the most interesting seasons that we've seen in a long time. Because only half the season is released. We still have another half to be released. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and like I just wanted to touch base on what Myles said too, like about the Hawks and the Grizzlies, and like you know the graphic came out of you know each team split up and how many nationally televised games they had, and like to me like I don't know, maybe it was made before the trade, but like the Wizards have none. Like I just find that so weird, and then the Hawks have one, and that's on MLK Day just because they're debuting new jerseys. So like I think that's just disrespectful. You know the Hawks like. The moves that they made, like some are questionable, but you know, I think they might be up there for getting that 8th seed now. You know what I mean? They got a good mix of young talent and veterans, and you know, Trae Young is special. He's nice to watch too. You know, like if Steph Curry were to clone himself, it'd be Trae Young. You know what I mean? So like I really don't understand why they don't get enough games, but at the same time, like Myles said, Ja Morant, he won Rookie of the Year, and Grizzlies don't even have that much nationally televised games. And like Zion had like a tremendous debut last year against the Spurs. Yeah. But after that, like, you know, he had a block or dunk here and there, but you know, nothing really special. Like like what John Morant did. You know what I mean? And so like, obviously the NBA is a business standpoint. You know, that's why they're pushing for it. Like the Pelicans have a whopping 14 games, dude, on nationally televised television. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me.
When I think like with Zion, like he showed nothing in the bubble. He
Yeah.
was on a minutes restriction for some reason, but he was healthy.
Yeah.
And he definitely came in overweight.
Yeah.
But so it's interesting to see how the NBA pushes him instead of Ja, because I actually would build around Ja if I was to choose one.
Yeah.
But from what I've heard, Zion has slimmed down, I hope, because that boy was too big to be dunking that hard and falling that hard. He was going to hurt himself sooner or later.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm hoping for the best.
Because like even when you play with that much explosiveness and like torque on your body, we saw it with Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
Like Derrick Rose is the most exciting player I've ever watched to me. And he wasn't he wasn't nearly as heavy as Zion is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just for his longevity, I hope like he can find a way to be that explosive, but also stay healthy.
And like even with Ja, like the way he comes down on his dunks is so dangerous.
Yeah.
He like flails and like he needs to learn how to fall because he is going to hurt himself someday too.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I just think Zion needs to get back to his Duke weight, or if he gained anything, like just muscle. You know what I mean? Because like you said, Spence, when he came into the bubble, he looked like he was out of shape. Like he looked like he was
gassed.
Like he would gas. Yeah, exactly. Like he would on some plays. Like I feel like he wouldn't even want to get back because he was just gassed. But you know, like pictures don't do justice. You know what the Pelicans released. So hopefully, you know, he did get. You know.
Yeah. But on to the next topic. It's about the Clippers. And I have two pretty interesting quotes here. So first was from Paul George on the Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, All the Smoke. He said, Doc was trying to play me as Ray Allen or J.J. Redick, all pin downs. I can't do that. Or I can do that, but it's not my game. I need some flow. I need some mixes of pick and roll and post-ups. That last season was hard. Then Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer said, interesting comment. Paul George finished 33% of his total plays using the pick and roll, which is a career high. The prior high was 25% in OKC. So what I get from this is Paul George is a pathological liar. He continues to just like say these comments, but he has nothing to back them up. With these two quotes, it's bad. But then when you see him saying to Indiana, I want to be here for my career, gets traded. OKC, I want to be a Thunder for life, gets traded. Now he's on the Clippers. Doesn't look like he's going to make it through next season, but we'll see. But he keeps showing that he's not a good leader. He takes no accountability for his own actions. All last season, or like all he said after the game was like, "Oh, no chemistry," and it's like, you played like shit. Mm-hmm. Doc Rivers didn't make you hit three off the backboard. You did that yourself. So it's just crazy, man. And then I have some more quotes about their perks that those two, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, received. Leonard and George were reportedly given personal security guards, trainers, and power over the team's practice schedule. Teammates also believed that Leonard and George were able to decide which games they wanted to play in. And then, furthermore, Leonard was reportedly allowed to live in San Diego, leading to delays in Clippers flights, and additionally requested a personal space for his pregame routine, which often kept female staff members out of the locker room for 20 to 45 minutes.
Man.
So what do you guys think?
That's crazy. You know what? That last quote came out like so long ago, and how living in San Diego. I just, like I told Spencer the other day, I just feel like Paul George, surprisingly Kawhi and Leonard too, like they feel like they're the new guys on campus at a college. Like that's how I get it. Because, you know, when you're like a top recruit, for example, going to like Kentucky or something, like you really think that you're that guy. You get all the perks, all that stuff. I'm pretty sure you never do your homework. You know what I mean? You have people taking the test for you, stuff like that. And I feel like that's what they're getting with the Clippers. You know what I mean? Like, they got the whole organization like in the palm of their hands, and it's just not fair to other players. And we saw that with, the internal problems that they had. Guys were releasing how they felt. Some choosing to be anonymous, some not. You know what I mean? And it could be a big reason, contributing factor to why Trez left. You know what I mean? And you see that with the quotes that he said recently. But yeah, it's just, Kawhi, that's just weird to me because, it never occurred to me that things could happen like that, especially when he was with Spurs. And then his one season with the Raptors, we never heard of things like that when it came to Kawhi. We just thought of him as a cyborg. He does his job and then he just goes home. You never thought that he would like get any preferential treatment. And for PG, like, he's a liar. That graphic came out with him saying that he wants to stay at every team that he's been in. But you know what? Like, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. What are you supposed to say when you're on a team, right? You're supposed to say that. You know what I mean? You're supposed to say that you want to be there for life. Because if you don't, then it's just going to be like, all right, so where do you want to go to next? You know what I mean? But it's funny, because he's done it time and time again, and then he's been proven wrong. And, there's another quote that came out earlier today of him, talking about the pin downs and all that stuff and playing like Ray Allen and like hoping that, there's going to be a hoping that there's going to be a change in style of play. And then Doc Rivers said, it's not going to be any different. Ty Lue was next to me the whole season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, like, Paul George is just, I see him as like a diva. Like, he never wants to own up to anything that happened. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, chemistry. I understand. He wasn't the only person that said it, but he just doesn't, take responsibility, bro. And then part of being a superstar is taking responsibility. You say that it's your fault. You say that you could have done better, but nah, he never wants to do that. So it's surprising coming from Kawhi, but PG, it's kind of expected at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. The Clippers are gonna clip. Let's be real. Like, going into last year, I thought like, okay, the Clippers are like legit. Like, their curse can be ended or whatever. But somehow, some way, it's kind of like the Cowboys in football, where if you guys know what Stephen A says, what can go wrong will go wrong.
Yeah.
Because I was damn scared of them.
Oh yeah.
And in terms of how they treat and the special like treatment and perks, at least Kawhi earned it. He was coming off a chip. He was coming off a Finals MVP. So if you're that guy, you can do that. But Paul George hasn't proven a damn thing. Like, you could hang your hat on pushing LeBron's Heatles to 7 games. That's fine. But you have no hardware. You got embarrassed off the court by Dame Lillard the previous season. And just the lack of self-awareness is crazy to me, because you're right. Like, he doesn't want to be accountable. He can't just say, like, if it were me, I would just laugh it off. Yeah, I did hit the side of the backboard, but you know what? Like this year, I'm going to bring it. But no, he's just trying to like cover all his bases and give these excuses that aren't even true.
Yeah.
Like, as a habitual excuse maker, not habitual, but like at least make your shit like true or credible. But he's just pulling stuff up. Oh, what can I do here? Oh yeah, I need more pick and rolls. Like, no, bro, just freaking. It's kind of like how I feel with Kuzma sometimes. It's like, just shut up and play.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just crazy because I used to root for both of these dudes pretty like a good amount. And then now it's just I can't stand either of them.
Yeah, because if you told me that he was back when he was with the Pacers, that he was a diva, I was like, nah. Paul George? No way. And then he gets to the Thunder, gets a little weird, but he was a top 5 MVP candidate a year ago.
Yeah.
And then he goes to the Clippers, and then all of this stuff comes out, and it's like, man, we really didn't know who this guy was, because he's weird.
Yeah.
And with Kawhi, this guy used to drive like an old school pickup when he was the Spurs, and now he's living in San Diego getting private jets. Like, I get it. He's got money. But
yeah.
Sorry, someone called me. But it's just like, I don't really understand what the difference is now. It's just very weird. But
yeah,
this Clippers team is just such a mess. I really don't understand what's going to happen next season, you know.
I love it.
Yeah, man.
Shout
Talking
out D-Wade.
all that shit. Yeah, bro. LAR way. Freaking, oh my God, dude.
Oh, man.
And, like, to look at it, I guarantee Lou Williams wants out because he hasn't disputed any of the trade rumors. And most guys, when they say, oh, there's a trade rumor, no, I never said that. Lou Williams has stayed pretty quiet. So I'm assuming he wants out too.
Yeah.
But let's get on to some brighter news. Well, Clippers' demise is always pretty good. But LiAngelo Ball, finally in the NBA. Honestly, huge shout out to LaVar. A lot of people doubted him. But he's been telling us for years he's going to have 3 NBA kids. And he got them. I think the tough thing is the Jello isn't guaranteed. But he's going to have a chance to fight for that spot. And on the Pistons, who just need to sell any kind of tickets, if you can sell tickets, like, I don't know, maybe you can have virtual fans this year. But I think he should be able to make the team. Pistons suck, so get some young blood in there. But, you know, I'm hoping for the best. He's a good shooter. A little on the bigger side, but he should be able to make it. I think he's going to be a good NBA player. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think for the Pistons, just like as a business move, I would do it. Like you don't have title hopes anyway, so why not? You know, like you said, just to bring some buzz around the city and like you said, Spencer. Shout out to LaVar. That's dope as hell. I don't care what anyone says about him. That's a dad who will fight for his kids and have their back. So happy for LiAngelo for keeping on fighting, for grinding. Hopefully he gets a spot either in Detroit or anywhere else.
Yeah.
I
mean, for me, like as soon as I found out the news, I was really happy. For not only for LaVar but especially for LiAngelo. He's that child that it's kind of like he's awkward because Zoe was the first. He was top ranked, all that, UCLA. He's doing good with the Pelicans. He held his own with the Lakers. And then you got Melo, who's, had a roller coaster journey, but just went through at the draft. And you know how good he is. And then LiAngelo has been fighting to get at least to the G League, and he's never done it. So I'm really happy for him because, he stayed the course, put his head down, put in the work. And, like Spence said, he's kind of, a bit on the bigger side, but he's also a sniper. That jump shot he arguably has the best jumper out of all the brothers. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so, like, even with an improved shot from Lonzo and Melo, I only say Melo because I saw some Hornets footage the other day, and it looks like he really changed the shot.
Yeah.
I still think that Jello has the nicest jumper out of all of them. And I honestly do see him making the roster just because of, like Myles said, a business standpoint. But, like, there's also that skill level, that he can bring. And it's just going to be an adjustment period because, the last time we heard about Jello in, like, mainstream news is when he signed with the OKC affiliate G League team.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm really hoping that he makes it. And, shout out to LaVar, like Draymond said, shout out to LaVar, shout out to the Holiday family. And he might not be here anymore. RIP to Giannis's dad, but his family as well. They got brothers in the NBA. So it's a wonderful thing, And like I said, I just hope that he makes the roster. And like Spence said, the Pistons, they're terrible. So he has a good chance.
To go back to Giannis, he could have 4 brothers. Or there could be 4 at the Tekumbos with Alex coming up. I heard he's pretty good.
Yeah.
So that would be insane too. NBA is a family business, man. A lot of kids in there. But last topic, kind of a surprising move, I guess sort of. But Russell Westbrook for John Wall on a first-round pick. So I think it was pretty shocking because this kind of came out of nowhere because it was rumored for a little bit, then it died down. Then all of a sudden, I guess the GMs met for like an hour or 2 hours and like, let's do the trade. To me, it was a little underwhelming. Most of the time, you want to trade your athletic point guard for a scoring point guard, a shooting point guard. But essentially, you just swapped athletic point guards. Just one's coming off an Achilles, and you get a first-round pick. But I think it's kind of messed up what the Rockets are doing. They're making Westbrook to be the bad guy, the scapegoat here. And it kind of seems like it wasn't his fault. You know, Russ did what he did best. Played ball, played hard. But, like, if you look at it in the past, Harden has played with some great talent. He played with Dwight when he was still scoring 17 and, 12. But it was Dwight's fault. Okay. What about CP3? Okay, it's still CP3's fault. Then we look at Russ. Okay, it's Russ's fault now. It's a pattern. Let's be honest. I think Harden's the problem at this point. And then, coming off recent news, Harden's partying in Las Vegas instead of practicing. He's at the strip club. He was there last night, and then I guess so. The night before, Coach Silas was like, "I've heard he's going to report on Sunday," and then James Harden posts just an emoji of
he's like, "Oh,
I'm not
yikes.
going." And then last night he's partying at a strip club again. So
on a Sunday,
it's just like, bro, either he's trying to tank his value, and get traded. I don't know, or he just really doesn't care. And it's such a bad look for the Rockets because they don't know where their guy is. Yeah, the coach doesn't even know. So
you guys see the quote where the coach was asked a question like, "Oh, pretty much where's James?" And then he was like, "Oh, you're gonna have to ask him when he gets back, when he's here. Ask him when he's here." I think it is like Spencer said, James trying to tank his value and just force his way out. If you don't want to be somewhere, you're gonna find every way to get out of there.
Yeah.
And I hadn't thought about blaming Harden because, like I said, I'm a huge Harden fan. And as a habitual excuse maker, like I said, I was earlier. It was Dwight's fault. It was CP's. No, I'm playing. It's just crazy because he's so damn good. He can carry mediocre teams into fairly deep playoff runs. But just when the lights are brightest, he can't muster up that extra level of performance. And in terms of the Wizards and Rockets trade of Wall and Westbrook, I honestly think it's good for both sides because, I mean, for Washington, you get a healthier dude who's probably better overall. And it's pretty well documented that John Wall and Bradley Beal didn't get along the best. It'll be a treat for us to see John Wall and Cousins. I know they're both coming off huge injuries, but just to take us back to 5-6 years ago a little bit. I don't know. He like Spencer said, Houston is just scrambling to find something to do. Eventually, I hope they can find a good deal for Harden, just so both parties are happy and everyone and everyone can just move on.
Yeah, I mean, I was contemplating who to say the winner of the trades were, but I mean, honestly, it's a win-win both sides. You know, like Myles said, Westbrook is, a healthier, if I would argue more athletic point guard. John Wall probably has an advantage in the speed area, but Westbrook, he also reunites with Scott Brooks, a coach that actually coached him well, actually knew how to use Westbrook, and so I think it's going to benefit him. And, we've seen that if he wanted to, he can be a walking triple-double, and that's going to benefit Bradley Beal. You know what I mean? Russ may stat pad, but at least he'll get some assists to Bradley Beal, who can still do his thing. And I would say the real winners are the Houston strip clubs. I'm just kidding. No, but I think the real winner, if it comes down to it, obviously the Wizards. But I like Myles said, John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins, they've been wanting to play since Kentucky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, at this point, both of them, honestly, I don't think they could care any less whether or not Harden's there.
Yeah, I don't think so.
They're just happy to be with each other. You know what I mean? And although they're coming from like big injuries, like I think that if they get back to at least like a little bit of their former selves, they could build on that and possibly go back to putting up double numbers. But it's just like I said, like those guys are just happy to be back with one another. Harden, if he is forcing a trade, it's going to benefit like DeMarcus Cousins and John Wall even more, because then obviously the captain will be them, not James Harden, because at the end of the day, even though he's still at strip clubs, it's his team. You know what I mean? It's still his team. And so like by pushing him out, they get more assets. And then after that, they can build a solid team surrounding those two guys. So, I think at the end of the day, those two guys, like, they're juiced and they're ready. And Westbrook is too. It's just going to be weird seeing him wear number 4. You know what I mean? And like one last thing I wanted to say, I find it hilarious how like, Gilbert Arenas commented giving him his blessings and the Westbrook just ignored it. Like, bro, I'm still going to thank you, I guess, but I'm going to go with number 4 still. You know what I mean? I think that was hilarious, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm excited because like the Rockets are going to be one of the most ego-filled locker rooms until they get rid of Harden.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited to see them blow up because I don't think they're going to be that good. I think because we heard that Harden preferred John Wall. I think it's because he wanted a strip club buddy, but I don't know. But I don't know. It's a weird trade, but I'm hoping for the best for the Wizards. I could care less about the Rockets, but I think as long as Westbrook buys in to the entire system that Scott Brooks is building, they'll be fine. I think they're going to be a playoff team no matter what. They were barely a playoff team last year with just Bradley Beal, so they should be good.
Yeah, I mean, hey, man, there's going to be a lot of ones, and I'm not talking about one-on-one, so.
yeah,
in Houston. Yeah,
they're not going to pass on the court, but they're going to pass the ladies around.
Hey, man, they're going to build chemistry, and it won't be in the locker room. That's all I have to say.
A lot of COVID. A lot of COVID.
Yeah, a lot of COVID too, man.
But anyways, that's our 22nd podcast. Thank you to you guys for coming back on.
Oh, yeah.
This is a lot of fun always.
Yeah, dude. Love chopping it up with y'all.
Man, we got a kind of good week next week. NBA returns, so we'll have a lot to talk about. But all in all, check us out on social media and the link down in the description. Like, comment, and subscribe. But catch you guys in the next one.